Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In recent days, I have heard concerns from my constituents in Citadel and Hawkwood about misleading door-to-door sales of furnaces. I've heard stories about door-to-door salespeople leaving the impression that they are with the Government of Alberta in order to pressure my constituents to buy furnaces. Often these salespeople are returning 2 or 3 times to the same house, even in one day. To the Minister of Service Alberta, has there been an increase in complaints about this kind of sales practice?
Honourable Minister of Service Alberta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the question. In fact, I've heard a multitude of these same complaints, and unfortunately, they seem to be getting more common. After a total of 41 complaints about furnace sales from 2010 to 2015, this number has jumped to 147 so far in 2016 alone. The scale of this jump of complaints is obviously concerning, Mr. Speaker. We are monitoring this situation very closely and evaluating our options for protecting consumers, particularly our seniors, from misleading practices when it comes to the sale of furnaces and other household energy products.
For supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that we have seen growing concern about these furnace sales, and given that in the past we have also heard concerns about door-to-door electricity contract sales, to the same minister, can you tell the House what our constituents can do to protect themselves from these predatory practices?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With regard to the energy contract sales the member mentioned, we unfortunately continue to see high numbers of complaints, with 244 complaints registered with Service Alberta so far this year, and we saw a dramatic jump in complaints in 2015, and they've continued. When a salesperson comes to your door, Mr. Speaker, Albertans should not feel pressured into signing a contract on the spot that they don't want. Albertans should also be aware that they have the right to cancel a contract within 10 days of receiving it for any reason. I encourage anyone with concerns about door-to-door sales to call our consumer protection line at 1-877 427-4088 or visit servicealberta.ca to learn about their rights.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Minister. Given that concerns regarding these unethical practices seem to be growing, to the same Minister, what actions are being considered to protect consumers?